An adventure helmet for off-road riding that you can also wear as a jet helmet or as a touring helmet. Today we are going to take a look at the Nolan N70-2 X. We have sent our test rider on the road and he came back with a lot of interesting data. So stay tuned to find out how well this helmet performed on the road. Team of Champion Helmets here, and today we are going to take a look at the popular adventure or dual sport helmet from Nolan. This helmet offers several riding style options. For example, you can take off the peak and chin bar, giving you a certified jet helmet including integrated sun visor, or you can take out the visor and place your own motocross goggles on the helmet. The N70-2 X offers a lot of options and we're going to discuss them all in this review. The Nolan N70-2 X has a recommended retail price of around €300 or about $335. Because of this price, Nolan's helmet will compete with the Bell MX-9 Adventure, Icon Variant Pro, Scorpion ADX2 and the Arroy Commander. We are going to start the review in the studio and we will do so with the material part. The outer shell of the N70-2 X is made of Lexan, which is essentially just polycarbonate and comes in two outer shell sizes, which means that the helmet gets 2 stars for material. If we compare it to its competitors, we see that it ends up at the bottom of the list, along with the Scorpion ADX2. The Icon Variant Pro and the Arroy Commander do slightly better thanks to their fiberglass outer shell and come in 3 outer shell sizes. This means that the Nolan's N70-2 X doesn't have a strong start, but how does it do on other criteria? We move on to the weight. And when we weighed Nolan's helmet in a size M, the scale indicated 1892 grams. Because this helmet can also be used as a tour or jet helmet, we weighed the peak and the chin bar separately, so you can take this into account. The peak weighed 133 grams and the chin bar weighed 192 grams. If we compare this to its competitors, we see that it ends up at the very bottom and it's the heaviest helmet in the list. The lightest helmet we weighed was the Arroy Commander, weighing 1494 grams. With its almost 1900 grams, the N70-2 X earns 2 stars for weight. But how does it do on other criteria? Now that we have discussed the weight, we will move on to the visor. If we look at the Nolan N70-2 X, we can immediately see that it has an ultra-wide visor, which gives you an even better field of view. In addition, this visor is pinlock lens prepared and the pinlock lens is included in the box, depending on the version of the helmet you are buying. In addition, the helmet has an integrated sun visor that is adjustable in multiple positions and is UV and scratch resistance with an anti-fog layer over it. If we add all this together, we see that the N70-2 X scores 4 stars for visor. If we compare this to its competitors, we see that it does well and ends up at the top along with the ADX2 and the Commander. Bell's MX-9 Adventure finishes at the bottom with 2 stars. This helmet was in fact only anti-fog prepared. Before we start the road test, now might be a good time to ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This way you will stay up to date with all our reviews, road tests and guides. And now let's move on quickly. First, a quick explanation of how we collect our data while testing the helmet. On the left you see a white thermometer that shows the inside temperature of the helmet. This thermometer is connected to a sensor inside the helmet. In the top center you see the decibel meter, which is connected to a microphone placed near our rider's ear. This captures the sound as our rider hears it. On the right we see a phone that displays the wind speed and the outside temperature. This is connected to a device on the bike. In the middle we see the dashboard with the riding speed of our test rider. Now that it is clear, we will start the road test with the noise isolation. In terms of noise isolation, the Nolan N70-2 X gave us an average of 102 decibels at a wind speed of around 130 km an hour. With a score of 102 decibels, the N70-2 X gets 3 stars for noise isolation. But how did the helmet do compared to its competitors? When we compare it to its competitors, we see a nice list that goes down from 105 decibels to 101 decibels. At the top is the ADX2 with 101 decibels, which is a nice score, followed by the N70-2 X with 102 decibels. At the very bottom is the Icon Variant Pro with a score of 105 decibels. So on the noise isolation part it doesn't score bad at all, but we're not done yet and we will continue with the ventilation of the helmet. Before we look at the results, we're going to take a look at the ventilation possibilities. If we look at the ventilation, we can see a vent on the chin that you can open or close. Furthermore, we have some openings on top for extra airflow and you can also control these by using the slider. All the warm air can then escape from the opening at the back. But how did the Nolan N70-2 X perform on the road? When testing the helmet on the road, it was 16 degrees Celsius outside. On the thermometer we can see that inside the helmet it was 18.5 degrees, which means that the temperature inside the helmet was 3.5 degrees warmer. This means that it deserves 2 stars for the ventilation part. When we start comparing this to its competitors, we see that it does not score well. It comes right up against the Bell MX9 Adventure, which also scores 2 stars here. At the top and at the Icon Very Pro, which had the same temperature inside the helmet as the outside temperature. Only the Alloy Commander did exceptionally poor, with a temperature difference of 12 degrees, giving it only 1 star. We have arrived at the comfort section, and for this section we are leaning on the more than 15 years of riding experience of our test rider, who has also tested all the other helmets and therefore can make the comparison like no other. We are going to start the comfort section by looking at the inner lining. The inner lining of the N70-2 X is removable and washable. When we remove the inner lining, we see that it comes out as one piece. Inside the EPS shell you can see that there is a lot of good airflow through the holes in the EPS shell, and that the helmet is prepared for speaker pockets. If we add all this together, we see that the N70-2 X deserves 3.5 stars. And if we compare this to its competitors, we see that it does just a little bit better than the MX9, the Commander and the ADX2, all 3 of which receive 3 stars for this. Only the Icon Very Pro did as well as the N70-2 X with 3.5 stars. For features, we're going to look at what the extras manufacturers have put into the helmet. And we'll start with the chin bar. This is removable, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. And because the helmet is PJ certified, you may also ride without a chin bar. In addition, the N70-2 X is prepared for speaker pockets. Nolan has also prepared a system for an ESS system. This is an emergency light, which can be placed on the back of the helmet if required. And finally, we look at the options around the peak. And this is easily removable without tools if you wish to remove it. If we add all this up, the N70-2 X deserves 3 stars for features. If we compare it to its competitors, it ends up at the top along with the ADX2. The MX9 Adventure and the Commander finish at the bottom with 1.5 stars, and the Icon Very Pro finishes in the middle of the list with 2 stars. This brings us almost at the end of the video, and when we add it all up and calculate the stars, the Nolan N70-2 X gets a champion helmet score of 6.5, for which you pay 15 euros per star. If we look at the champion helmets ranking, we see that in 5th place comes the Bell MX9 Adventure with a final score of 5.6 with 15 euros per earned star. In 4th place comes the Alloy Commander with a final score of 6.5 with 90 euros per earned star. And then finally in the 3rd place is the Nolan N70-2 X with a final score of 6.5 with 15 euros per earned star. In 2nd and 1st place are the Icon Very Pro and the Scorpion ADX2. Both ended with a final score of 6.9, but the ADX2 has a better price quality ratio, making it finish in 1st place with 12 euros per earned star, and the Icon Very Pro in 2nd place with 17 euros per earned star. So we can conclude that Nolan has made a good helmet where the focus is on the visor, comfort and the features. The ventilation, weight and material could have been better, but we must not forget that it is a helmet developed for different riding styles, with a removable peak, integrated sun visor and removable chin bar, making it a lot harder to score great on every part. So, do you want the best adventure helmet, or do you want a helmet that is multifunctional? Or do you want to learn more about its competitors? Then be sure to take a look at our webshop www.championhelmets.com, where we offer the lowest price guarantee and have nice discount bundles. If you have any questions or feedback, we would love to hear them. Thank you for watching. My name is Simon for Champion Helmets, and hopefully until next time.